All right, what's up guys? I'm Jack Leeson from MajorLeagueTrading.com and we're in Miami and I have my friends.
What's up guys? My name is Umar, Ashraf and I'm from StockMarketLab.
And we're here to just talk about trading, how we got into it, and break some things down, maybe some newbie questions that we've received either through Instagram DMs or on YouTube in general. So I'm gonna start off by asking you, what got you motivated in wanting to trade? What was that pushing point?
So the idea of trading kind of struck to me when I was in 7th grade. So when I was in 7th grade, that's when the idea kind of came to me, like, wow, you can make money online by trading stocks. What are stocks? How does that work? It kind of stuck in my head. Now, as time went on, as I got to 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, I was finally at a point where I'm like, wow, there's people that are making money off stocks. There's people that I know personally that are, making a tremendous amount of money off stocks, and it's like it came to a point where it's like, all right, so you can make money by sitting in front of your computer by exchanging basically shares or things on the internet, and the only thing you need to know is you need to outsmart the next person. So that whole idea kind of struck out to me, and I was like, wow, if other people can do it, why can't I do it?
Do you find it hard to watch TV? Because I feel like ever since I began trading, I find it hard to pay attention to TV because I'm like, I need that instant action, you know?
It's tough, yeah. It's definitely tough. Yeah, it's definitely tough. Trading, like once you get into trading and you're into it deep, it's very, very, very tough for you to kind of do the same things you were kind of interested into before, like TV. TV is definitely one of those things where I used to kind of watch here and there, but now I can't.
Commercials come on, I'm done.
I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get out. It's tough.
When I first got into trading, people always ask me, how did you get into it? And I used to read the Forbes 500. So everybody knows what the Forbes 500 is. I'm using the magazine for an example, but my dad would get the Forbes magazine, deliver it to her house, and every year, Forbes 500 would come out, and I'd be like, what are these people doing?
What are they doing,
to get so rich? And I'd read it every year, and it'd be like, investing. Okay, what's that? Or they were a hedge fund manager, some kind of mutual fund guy, or if Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos, whoever's the richest guy, their entire wealth is tied to their stock price. So I was like, well, if I want to make money, I better figure out this whole finance space. And I mean, that's what's got me into trading. But what you knew when you first started trading to get to the point where you are now, what do you think that biggest gap was between your vision of the reality or what you wanted to happen to actually making it happen? Like, what was that struggle you overcame, or what was that thing that you really didn't expect but came and hit you in the face?
The first thing with trading, when I started, I honestly had no knowledge. So I started with my head first. I was 18 when I started out. I started out with 20 grand. I saved up from selling iPhones off Craigslist. So I had 20 grand, and this is me, 18 years old, with 20 grand. I'm like, you know what? I can do anything I want. There's nothing that I can't do. So I jumped into trading head on first. As I jumped into trading, I actually did well my first 2 months. I started with a 20,000 account and I took it upwards to 35. I traded JCPenney at the time. I believe it was 2012.
Wow!
And I made money off it. I made money off JCPenney.
Right?
Yeah.
You and Bill Ackman.
Yeah, I made money off JCPenney at the time, and a lot of other retailing companies, which are kind of like obviously not at the same level now. And I'm like, wow, I know what I'm doing, but in reality, I had no idea what I was doing.
A little bit of beginner's luck, we all get it.
Yeah. So it was all beginner's luck, and next thing you know, my $35,000 account in the next 6 months is down to 2 grand. And now it's down to 2 grand, and I'm at a level where I'm like, wow, I'm at 2 grand. And when I started telling people, it's like, oh, I see trading is gambling, trading is bad, stay away from trading, you don't need to do it. And I'm like, wait, hold on. There's people that are making money off trading, a lot of money, and then there's obviously people losing. I'm on the losing side, so I'm doing something wrong. I need to be on the winning side, and I need to understand what I need to do right. So that's when I'm like, wait, okay, breathe, and let's take the next few months of understanding where I messed up, because I obviously didn't practice or have any knowledge. So now I went through a lot of trial and error for about 6 months on a paper trading account, on just watching the markets consistently, day in and out. Every day I was in front of a computer, glued to a computer. If I was going to college at the time. In college, I'm watching stocks. I'm like, oh, are they going to beat earnings? What happened? Now I also understood that sometimes companies might beat earnings, but the stock might go down because of outlook. And these are things you kind of don't understand from books, and they don't really put it out there up until you go through it. And it was a lot of experience. So once I understood the whole concept, I was like, wow, this is it. And the biggest thing, that was the biggest key takeaway, I'd say, was psychology. Psychology is key.
The psychology of managing
Important.
losses, or more of the psychology of like just the understanding of the market in general.
You know what it is? It's more so taking losses, because in trading, you have to take losses. It's something you have to do. You have to take losses. So that's a problem I feel like everybody faces. Once you see your account negative, you don't want to take the loss. You're like, oh shit, the stock was at $8 yesterday. It's at $7.50. I'm gonna sell it at $8. Then it goes from $7.50 to $7. You're like, oh shit, it was at $7. At $7.50, I want to sell it at $7.50, not at $7. So that psychology kind of ruins people, where they kind of don't have a plan before they get into the trade. So my biggest key takeaway was make a plan before you get into a trade.
Every trade with an
Make
entry,
a plan.
exit.
Entry and exit. Entry and then an exit for a profit, and an exit for a loss that you're comfortable with, and that makes sense. You can't just pick random numbers. You can't just say I want to get in at 7 and sell at 6.50 because I only want to lose 50 cents. You have to make sense with technicals, and that's what I figured out. Like, I'm like, wait, so if I get in this trade and my potential profit is $1 a share and I'm only risking 20 cents, that's the 5-to-1 ratio. It's a no-brainer. But now if I'm looking at a trade where my potential profit is 30 cents and my potential loss is $2, it doesn't make sense for me to make that trade. So that was my biggest key takeaway: managing psychology, understanding how to take losses and when to take losses. And once I understood that, it was game over.
I think that's probably one of the biggest things. Like, I have a similar story, and like, you know, I didn't know you when you first started trading. You didn't know me when we first started trading. We both trade completely separate products, but at the same time, we have a very similar story when we began trading. I think when most people get into trading, myself included, and after listening to you, I understand you're exactly where I came from. You have this idea that it's almost going to be easy, and as easy as it is to open up a trading account, because you can go to TD Ameritrade, you can go to Scottrade, and you can go to E-Trade, and they're going to say, hey, here's 2-to-1 buying power, here's an account, you got options approval, go trade whatever you want.
Exactly. You're like, wow. You're like, wow, exactly.
And then you're like, well, if they gave me the account, I'm going to be able to figure this out. But the reality is, because, you know, we're young and driven, we want the money before we put in the work. And I mean, I fell into that
lesson, especially with people nowadays. People chase after money right away. I tell all of my students, I make sure, I'm like, don't chase the money. Don't chase the money. Work on your craft. Once you work on your craft and you make sure the craft is perfect and you understand where you need to make adjustments and you do make those proper adjustments, then the money's gonna come itself. If you jump in and try to make money, this, be it stocks, be it with anything, any skill you have, if you jump in to make money, just money itself, I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna work out. Work on fixing your craft, and once your craft gets better and better day in and out, the money's gonna start coming easily.
Yeah, and when it starts coming, but you can't really rush that point. You will know when you're good. You will know when you're good. And for anybody watching the video, including you across the screen, I want you to know that this isn't something that you're gonna turn around and get rich quick. This is something that you're gonna dedicate your time, you're gonna dedicate your discipline to, and if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to wait and not jump right in trying to make money, and you're willing to work hard, and you're willing to learn from somebody who knows what they're doing, then you too can reach that level.
It's all patience, all patience. You need patience, you guys. You're gonna need patience. You know, people nowadays, it's you know what it is? It's social media. People see this life and what this guy's doing, what that guy's doing, and they go, well, I need to do that now. I need to do it immediately. But they don't understand a lot of time and effort went behind the scenes for that person to get there. But people don't have that patience.
Yeah, and I think one of the problems is when you're not patient, you're gonna lead to your own discouragement. And I suffered this myself as a trader. You know, for when I first started my account, I think I put like $2 grand into it, and it just blew it up right in the sky. Goodbye. I didn't have a lot of money at the time when I first started trading, and
when did you first start trading? How old were you?
Well, I bought my first stock at 15.
Okay.
Which was a penny stock, because that was the hot thing back then.
It's still a hot thing. I hear about it all the time. I'm like, oh,
and
man,
you know what? It was a genius trade. It was I bought it at like 27 cents and it went up to like $1.32, and I'm like, I'm Warren Buffett.
Did you sell?
No, of course not.
Oh man, you didn't sell?
Of course not. Of course not.
What were we waiting for?
I mean, at the time, I didn't really know much. I was waiting for it to go to 5, right? And then when it went to 5, I was waiting for it to 25.
Same mistake everybody makes. They wait for a higher number that's really not existent.
And that's because I wasn't educated. Zero experience in the market. Literally, I listened to a tip Don't go listening to tips when you first begin
Oh,
trading.
the amount of tips I get a day. I'm like, oh man, the amount of tips. It's insane. It's insane.
If I had $1 for every tip I ever got to be a billionaire, you know. But
oh man, 100%.
That's the thing. You have to go in. You have to be prepared to do your research. There's no shortcuts. The only shortcuts are education. The best shortcut you could take is, you know, a course from somebody who knows what they're doing. A shortcut is not listening to somebody telling you to buy a stock and hold it on for 2 years. It's not jumping in.
It goes back to saying that, you know, you can teach someone to fish and they'll have fish for the rest of their lives or have a meal for the rest of their lives. But if you give them fish, once you're gone and once you move away, they don't really possess any, they don't have any real talent. And that's huge, where people don't want the skill set. They just want the benefits or the money that comes with it, which isn't the way to go with anything. You know, you should focus more so on learning how to provide or you know, learn that skill set so you're able to move forward and apply that skill set yourself, be it stocks, be it real estate, be it anything at all. And that's a major thing where, you know, people want quick money, and there's no such thing as quick money. If it's quick money, it's coming quick and it's going just as quick. You know, and I've seen it happen with so many people. Money comes, money goes, and it's always a quick money.
And I mean, you also have to look at this as like a longer term journey, and to understand that if you do learn how to trade, that this is something that regardless if you do it full time, if you even do it part time for the rest of your life, and you can do 20% a year on your money, these are not exaggerated crazy numbers, you're going to be able to cut your retirement down. So, you know, don't think about...
Some people, if they hit 20%, they're like, whoa, 20%. I'm like, listen, it's doable. Don't listen to the 5%, 6%, you know, talk.
Totally doable.
Totally, 20% is doable, you know? And there's people that are doing it too.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, depending on the products you trade, I mean, I know traders that do in excess of, you know, 200% a year on smaller accounts. I mean, once you move into multi-millions of dollars, it gets a little harder.
Yeah, but 20% is still doable, even in multi-million.
And once you expand that, pull out a calculator, type in $10,000 and multiply it by 1.2, and then hit that button 20 times. You know how big that number is? I don't actually know how big that number is, but
it's very big.
It's very big.
Compound interest, basically. Compound interest, right there.
So that's the long game that you have to think of. And to finish this video, my advice to everybody watching out here, find a mentor where you can study under, be prepared, be patient. You know, check out StockMarketLab.com, check out MajorLeagueTrading.com, and if you enjoyed this content, leave a comment below. Let us know what other questions you would like answered. Like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next video.
See you guys next time. Thank you for watching.
Take care.